Hi guys, Sci-Fi Recapped here. Before we start, warning. Spoilers ahead. Today, I'm gonna explain a mind-bending, horror, and mystery movie, Cold Wounds. The movie starts with Will, a New Orleans-based bartender who works at a rundown cockroach-infested bar. One evening, he is talking to Alicia and her boyfriend, Jeffrey. There is also a group of college kids playing at different tables. Shortly after, Will's friend, Eric, enters the bar. He looks very drunk and speaks harsh words regardless of the people around him. The bar gets busier with the arrival of Eric's friends. They decide to play billiards, but unexpectedly their game ends in a fight, resulting in Eric's cheek being stabbed in the right side with a broken glass bottle. Meanwhile, the group of college kids are filming their fight. Long story short, the fight ends because Will tries to separate them. The kids leave the bar in panic and one of them accidentally leaves his cell phone at the bar. Will takes the phone and brings it with him. When he returns home, he approaches his girlfriend, Carrie, who has fallen asleep first. After that, he is still curious to check the cell phone. While inspecting it, he receives a message from someone named Garrett, who strangely claims that he is scared and something from the tunnel has been following him all along. The next morning, he has breakfast with Carrie. She is suspicious of Will for carrying someone else's cell phone. He tries to convince her that it is someone else's phone that he found at the bar last night, so he confidently gives her the cell phone. Suddenly, she is shocked by what she has found in the cell phone. It turns out that Garrett has sent him a photo that shows a pile of bloody teeth. As the result, Carrie insists on taking the cell phone to the police, but Will still refuses to give the cell phone for several reasons. Later, he drops Carrie off at her campus, where he suspects her professor is sleeping with her. After that, he goes to Eric's house. There, he sees a black car in which a woman is continuously watching him for no apparent reason. He then meets with Eric and sees that his wound is now infected, so Will advises him to go to the hospital, but unfortunately he still refuses it. In addition, he claims that he is suffering from nightmares after last night's fight. Will also spots some sort of inhuman flesh in Eric's wound. Since Eric refuses to be cured, Will decides to get out of there and go shopping. In the store, he sees Alicia and her boyfriend from a distance. It is revealed that he has a crush on her and envies Jeffrey. On his way home, he doesn't notice that one of the college kids is following him around the town. At home, he is shocked to discover photos and videos on the phone of a corpse and decapitated head being surrounded by cockroaches. Not long after, Carrie comes home and she is confused why Will still keeps the cell phone. She then also sees the strange footage and forces Will to hand it over to the police. Moreover, she accidentally discovers a book in one of the photos entitled The Translation of Wounds. At the end, they call Garrett and hear an inhuman screeching on the other end. While driving to the police station, Will receives messages from another member of the group, stating that he has been chosen because he called earlier. Later, he spots one of the college kids following him. He then hallucinates the phone turning into a cockroach creature and throws it out the car window. He gets out of the car and cleans his hands until he rolls over. The people around record the incident and the opportunity is used by one of the kids to pick up the cell phone. He immediately chases them, but his effort is in vain. After that, he goes to the police station and tells everything that has happened. Unfortunately, the police cannot do anything without the phone. Soon, Will hangs out with Alicia and they eventually make out before Alicia stops because she feels guilty. Therefore, he drives Alicia home with an awkward moment. He then receives strange texts from Carrie and drives home straight away. There, he discovers Carrie is staring at a strange video of a tunnel in a trance. She states that she doesn't remember sending Will the strange texts and goes straight to sleep. Later that night, Will awakens and finds Garrett is in the house. He strangely throws up a pile of teeth before claiming he and his friends summoned something. It possessed them and Will has now brought it into his own home. At that time, it sees him as the perfect vessel. The next day, Will hallucinates a cockroach crawling out of a wound in his armpit. Consequently, he immediately cleans it and subconsciously rubs his armpit until it bleeds. He and Carrie start to get more distant and aggressive to one another. He discovers that she has been searching for Garrett online, as well as the books she noticed in the photo and Gnostic rituals. It states that a wound is a portal for the higher beings to enter the world. At work, Will gets more and more erratic to his customer. After a while, Jeffrey and Alicia come to the bar as usual, but Jeffrey looks very angry because he already knows that Will is trying to take Alicia from him. He ends up fighting with Will. Fortunately, his friend is able to separate them. He then receives another text from Carrie, claiming that someone is in the house with her. A panicked Will rushes home and eventually discovers her in a trance again. She is in a catatonic state that does not stop until she is bathed, which results in a strange dark liquid washing off her in the bathtub. The next morning, Will and Carrie break up. She accuses him of being empty and unfriendly. Will doesn't accept this and says that it's all caused by the mysterious cell phone. Unfortunately, she doesn't care about it and ends up with Will leaving her crying alone at home. He goes to work and his temper is getting out of control. He vents his frustration on unimportant things and also snaps at his boss, resulting in him quitting. He then calls Alicia desperately to express all his feelings to her and says that he already broke up with Carrie. Dejectedly, she says that she still loves Jeffrey and tells him to stop calling her. Feeling broken and alone, he decides to stay at Eric's house. On the other hand, Eric's wound has worsened. He also reveals the college kids forced him to lure Will to the house, and they asked him to give Will a present. Will spots an eye looking at him through Eric's wound. He discovers the phone in Eric's possession and is prompted to accept the present wrapped in flesh. He realizes that the higher beings the kids summoned earlier are inside Eric's wound. After calling Garrett again, the room fills with the inhuman screeching and a swarm of cockroaches arrive. Will finally submits and starts to absorb the higher being in an attempt to become whole as cockroaches envelop the house. Subscribe to watch more videos like this, turn on notifications, and leave a like to help the channel out. Thank you for watching.